STA 3624 Time Series Analysis and Forecasting, Lesson 4, Measurement of Trend. Under this lesson we have to learn 4 methods of estimating the trend. So first one is the freehand, or otherwise equal, that's a graphical method, then method of semi-average, method of moving averages, and method of least square. Under this lesson we learned to estimate the trend lines using these 4 methods. First we consider the freehand of the graphical method. In this we obtain a histogram by plotting the time series values and draw a freehand smooth curve through these points so that accurately reflect the long-term tendency of data. Note that trend line should be smooth. The number of points above the trend curve should be equal to the number of points below the line. It means if we draw a trend line like this way, then that is this one, these are the lines. So that meaning of this number of points above the line and below the line, it means that is not the actual number of points. After we estimated values, we have to take the these differences. If we add these differences, this is for the positive side and this is for the negative side, right? If we add these differences, finally we have to get the answer as 0. That is the meaning of this one. The number of points above the trend curve and should be equal to the number of points below the line. It means if we take the differences, finally we have to get the answer as 0. The sum of the vertical deviations of through the points and trend line should be approximately equal to the sum of the vertical deviations of the point below the trend line, so that total positive deviations are more or less balanced against the total negative deviations. That is also same like this, say that deviations should be balanced. The sum of the squares of the vertical deviations of given from the trend line should be minimum possible. We can that the meaning of this one, if we track these deviations, so it should be the power of this should be the minimum. These are the things we have to remember when we are doing the freehand, when we are drawing the freehand trend line in graphical method. So in here that there is an example, so there are some points, so this trend line should be drawn by the freehand according to these to satisfy the above conditions. So we will consider an example. The example one, draw a freehand curve on the basis of the following data. So you have to draw the xy, so you have to take these years for the x-axis and profit in 1000 for the y-axis, and draw a graph, that is this is for x and this is y. Then you can take the graph as this way. Then you have to draw the trend line by using the freehand method. This is the graph. This is the graph obtained by the above data, and you have to draw the trend line in your freehand. That is, there is no specific method. You have to draw to balance to you have, if you take these balances, that should be equal. It means number of points above the lines and number of points below the line. It means actually that is not the number of points. So if we consider the that's these differences, that it should be equal for the both sides. Then we will consider another example, right? From the following data, these sales figures determine the trend line by the freehand curve method. So as same way, you have to take this for the x-axis, yes, then sales for the y-axis, and draw the graph like this way, and after that you have to draw the trend line to balance these differences. This is examples 2. So if you can see this, so these differences, right, this difference and this difference and this difference, then you consider those differences. So those are these negative side directions, and the positive, it means above and below differences approximately equal. So actually it should be 0 if we are doing the mathematical way. In later we discuss about the three methods to estimate the trend line mathematically. This is the graphical method. So in that mathematical way, so always these positive sides and negative sides are equal. Then here also, when you are drawing in according to the freehand, so you have to be careful to draw to get the equal differences for the line above the trend line and below the trend line. So then the advantages of the freehand or the graphical method: this method is very simple and it is a time saving method, does not require any mathematical calculations. There are no mathematical calculations, just you have to draw the graph, and then you have to estimate by graphically the trend line. It is very flexible method, and it can be used to describe all types of trends. This can be used to describe all types of trends. Disadvantages of the freehand or graphical method: this method has a chance of personal bias introduced in the trend obtained by the freehand smoothing. So this is drawn by the freehand. This can be biased if it is depend on the person. When that's according to the experience of the person. So if the person to person, that's a trend line can be different, right? So therefore there is a personal bias one, so that it means that is not accurate one, but it is there are some advantages of this one also. It has a no mathematical basis in the construction. There are no mathematical basis, so just we have to see and draw the trend line. That is a disadvantage. Because of the subjective nature by the freehand trend line, it is not suitable for the forecasting and making decisions. So there is no mathematical basis. We can't guarantee this trend line is correct. So this if we drawn trend line by using the freehand method, so it is not taken for the forecasting and the making the decisions. So if we need to do the forecasting, or if you have to take the decisions, you have to use the mathematical model for estimate the trend line. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the graphical method. Then second method is method of semi-average. Semi-averages are the averages of the two halves of a given time series. In this method, the given data are divided into two parts with respect to time, preferable with the equal number of years. Then the average values of these two halves are found. These average values are then plotted against the mid value of each year. The 2 points are then joined by the straight line which plotted against the mid value of each half. This is called the trend line by method of semi-average. It means if we have suppose we have 8 years, right? First you have to divide this for two halves. This is first half and this is second half, right? This is first half and this is second half. Then you have to take the, suppose there are some values 10, 20, 30, 40 likewise. So then you have to find the average of these values. It means 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 divided by 4. Then you can find the average. Then here also you have to here also there are some values, then you have to find the average. Then we got the 2 points. Then what is the middle? The middle of this one 2.5. no, there are some years. Then here what is the middle? 6.5. So you have to plot these 2 points, here 2.5 and here 6.5. then here you can plot these two and this is the trend line, right? That is the meaning of semi-average. So you have to divide the given time series into the two halves and take the average. So we will discuss further this using an example. There are some more, so we can read first. Method of the sectioning in the given data. For example, we are given data from 1991 to 2008 over period 18 years. Of the equal parts will be first 9 years. This is first half, first 9 years. Then the second one, this is the first half, this is the second half, right? These for the even numbers of years. If the number of years are even, so you can use 9 and 9. If that is not even number, in the case of odd number of years, the two equal parts can be formed simply ignoring the middle year. So it means if you have 7 years, so what you have to do? You have to omit this one. You are not taking this one, and you take the averages from first half, first 3 and the last 3. you omit the fourth one, right? If in the case odd numbers of years, two equal parts can be formed simply by ignoring the middle year. For example, if the data are given for the 19 years from 1990 to 2007, then equal parts would be from 1990 to 1998 and form 2000 to 2008. The middle year 1999 will be ignored as this way. So if that is odd number of years, you have to ignore the middle year, right? So there is an example. So these are the values. Then how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It means even number. So even means you can divide into the fives. This is first half. 1 2 3 4 5. This is for the first half, and this is for the second half, right? This is for the second half. And what is the middle value? Then this is the middle of the first half, and this is the middle of the second half. So if after finding this average value, so you have to plot it against the 1984 and 1989. That's midpoint of the first half is 1984. Then here you have to add this all, right, here to here, then divide by 5, then you can find the average. And here also you have to add this all and you can find the average. After that, after finding those data, you can plot against 1984, then first average of the first half here, then against 1989 average of the second half here, then you can draw the trend line. So this is the way, this is the equation. So then in 1984 that is 210 and 1989 that is 230. So you have to draw the trend line. These are the normal points of the curve, and you can extend this trend line. So after extending this trend line, you can do the predictions also. Then this can be used to do the predictions, because this found from the mathematical method. So you can use for the decision making purpose and also the forecasting. So then this is one of the very good method to do the draw the trend line, because this is follows a mathematical model, right? Then draw a trend line by method of semi-average. Now here there are the number of years are the odd number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. It means we have to omit the middle one. Then first half you can take up here to here and here to here. This is first half and this is second half, and the middle value is 1987 and 1991. So then average of the first half you can take at these 2 3 and divide by 3, that is 800 for against 1987, and for the second half the average is 1200. So then it is plotted against 1991, because these two are the midpoints. So you can see the trend line here. This is also you can be extend to the forecasting purposes, right? So that is not a very difficult one. This is very easy one. So the basic thing is you have to divide the given data into the two halves and taking the averages. That's why it's called the same method of semi-average, right? So then next one is method of moving averages, third method. It is the one of the most popular method for calculating long-term trend. So this is used for calculating the long-term trends. This method is also used for the seasonal fluctuations, cyclic fluctuation, and the irregular fluctuations. In this method we calculate the moving average for the certain years. Method: given a set of numbers y1 to y1, y2, y3 to yn, we define the moving average order n to be sequence arithmetic means. So it means, so you have to add yn plus y1 plus y2 plus y. It means if you have data like this way, right? So you have some data 9 10, then suppose this is n number, you can divide this for the n number of segments, right? Then 2, then 3 to 3, right? This equals, then 1 2 3 1, that is n, here n equals to 3, right? Here 2 3 4, that is n equal to 3. n 3 4 5, that is n equals to 3. After that you have to take the average of these segments, then here these 3. Likewise you continuously you have to take the averages, right? Some of the numerators are called the moving totals in order n. If it is not clear, you can understand when we are doing an example. So we will go to the next slide. Then this is example. Given the number of numbers 2 6 1 5 3 2 7, so the moving average order 3, here order is 3, it means you have to take 3 at once. So first you have to take these 3, 2 6 1, then divide by 3. Next you have to take these 3, right? You have to omit first one only, then it means 6 plus 1 plus 5 divided by 3. Then you have to take next 3, it means you have to omit 6 only, then 1 plus 5 plus 3, 1 plus 5 plus 3 divided by 3. Then you have to take next 3, then it means you have to here you have to omit only 1, then this 3 you have to take, it means 5 3 7, and finally you have to take 3 7 2 divide by 3. These are the moving averages. Then here 3, for this one 3, for this one 4, this one 3, this one 5, and this one 4, right? So then original data is these are the original data. Then moving averages of order 3, you can take this one. These values are the mid values of each sequence. Note that each number in moving average is the mean of the 3 numbers immediately above it. If the data are in annually or monthly or moving average in order n, is called an n year moving average or n month moving average. This is month, n month moving average respectively. It means this is order 3 year. If we take, that is 3 year moving average. If you take 4, that is 4 year moving average. So you can take 5 year moving average, 6 year anyone, but in our case we are considering only 3 year moving averages and 4 year moving averages. Working rule for the 3 year moving average. First we consider about the 3 year moving average. Step 1, add the values first 3 and place the total against the middle year. As I explained earlier, you have to find the total of first 3. Leave the first year's values and add up the values for the next 3 years and place the total against the middle number. So it means first you have to first we read those things and then consider those through example. Continue this process until year's values is taken into calculating the moving. By dividing the 3 year moving total by 3, we can obtain the 3 yearly moving average. Plot the points in the graph. So then we consider how we can do these rules through an example. This is the example. Calculate the 3 yearly moving average from the following data. Then how many years? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 years given, and sales also given. So here we have to make a table. So this is the year, then these years, and then sales also there, right? 3 4, these data are given in this table. So then this data we can add from here. Then the thing is, first you have to taken these 3, first one and last one you have to omit, right? Then take the first 3 addition, then it was 3 plus 4 plus 8, this one, then this is 15 moving total. Then you have to consider these 3, remove this 3, then 4 plus 8 plus 6, here 4 plus 8 plus 6, that is 18. Then this 3, 8 plus 6 plus 7, 8 plus 6 plus 7, that is 21. You have to take at the middle of this one. 3 means the middle of this 3, this one, middle of this 3, this one, right? Middle of this 3, this one, likewise. Then you have to take this 3, no, 6 plus 7 plus 11, this one, that is 24. Then 11 plus 9 plus 10, after that 9 plus 10 plus 14, and finally 10 plus 14 plus 12. These are the 3 year moving totals. These are the 3 year moving totals. After that you have to find the moving averages. Then how you can find moving average, moving total divide by 3, that is 15 divided by 3 6, then 18 divided by 3 6, here 21 divided by 3, that is 7, here 24 divided by 3 8, 27 divided by 3 average, moving average, this 30 divided by 3, and 33 divided by 3, and 36 divided by 3. These are the moving averages, right? This is the way of finding the 3-year moving average. That is not a very difficult task. That is very easy one. Then after that, according to these working rules, finally we have to plot the points in the given graph, right? So then you can plot these points. How you can plot in this graph 1981, you have to omit these two because you didn't take data for these two. Then 81 5, right? 81 5, right? 82 6, 82 6, 87, 83 7, 84 8, 83 7, 84 8, 85 9. Likewise, this is the trend line, right? So that is very easy, right? After that, finally you can draw the trend line, right? Then we consider the then now this is how many are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? That is then this means that is even, right? Calculation of the moving average when period is even. 1 2, no, actually it should be odd, right? No, here that's 1 2 3, but here that earlier we considered that a calculation of the moving average if when period is even, right? So the previous one. Then we can next we consider the calculate the trend 4-yearly moving average data. Then now here moving average, then period is even this odd one, right? So y1 to y7, that is odd number. Then this is a 4-yearly moving average. That is not a different very much different than the 3-yearly moving average. Now we have to consider 4-yearly segments and find the average, right? That is the way. Step 1, add the first values of the first 4 years and place it total t1 and like this way between the second and third years. Leave the first year value and then add the values next 4 years likewise. Then place t2 in the word in t2 between third and fourth years. Continue this process until the last year is taken to account. Divide 4-yearly moving totals by 4 to get the 4-yearly moving average. After that, earlier you divided by 4, now you have to divide it by 4 to take the 4-yearly moving averages. To find the 4-yearly centered moving average, add first two averages. It means if you take that now 4-yearly moving averages is 10 and this one 2, then you have to add these 2 and divide it by 2. Then you can find the centered moving averages, place against the third year. Then add next two averages a2 a3 and divided it by 2 to get next moving average and centered c2. Place it against the fourth year, right? Continues this process till the last moving averages is included. Plot. Then you finally you have to plot these points in a graph and you can draw the trend line, right? We'll see through an example. Compute the 4-yearly centered moving averages for the following data. Then these are the data. So then again we have to add this data in a table, right? So this is the given data. So here what you have to do, earlier you take 4, then here 3, now here you have to take 4, first 4, and you have to plot in between this, right? You have to add in this because there are 4, it means 2.5 no middle one, it means you have to get middle of this one. Then 36 plus 43 plus 43 plus 34, then you 4 yearly moving average 156 you can take as a moving average, moving total, divide by 4, you can take 39. This is 4 year moving average, this one 4 year. Then next you have to get these 4 and find the 4 yearly moving average. Next one, this 4, it means 43, 34, 44 and 54 here, divided by 4, that is moving average. Then here next one is this one, last one. What is it? 44 plus 54 plus 34 plus 24, that is 156, divided by 4, 39. So these are the 4 yearly moving averages. After that you have to find the 4 yearly centered moving average. That means if then now you found those moving averages as 39, then 164 divided by, that is 41 no? 41, then 43.75, 41.5, 39.5. Then you have to take this 2. What is it? 39 plus 41 divided by 2, that is 40. Then again you have to take, then next you can take this 4, that is 41 plus 43.75 divided by 2, 42.737. Then here this 2, that is 42.62, and finally this 2, this is 40.25. These are the 4 yearly centered moving averages. So then you have to plot against here. What is this one? This is 1993.5 no, 1993.5 against 1993.5, 40, 1993.5, 40, right? This is the couple. Then here this one 1944.4.5, then 47.37. so likewise you can draw the table, then you can obtain the trend value like this way in the table, right? So this is the way of doing the moving averages, right? Then there is an alternative method for this one. Then from step 4, taking 4 yearly moving totals. To find the 2 yearly moving totals, consider the two 4 yearly moving totals, add to them and place the value into sum into the middle two terms. Same procedure is repeated for the other values. To find the 4 yearly centered moving average, divided the 2 yearly moving total by 8 and obtain the 4 yearly centered moving average. It means here now you took the 4 yearly moving average no? Instead of taking the 4 yearly moving average, just take the 4 yearly. I am choosing for this different color, then you can what is this? I am taking this color. Then what is this total? 156. Here total 164. Here total 175. Here 166. Here 156. Instead of taking these moving averages, first you have to take the 4 yearly moving totals here, right? Then again you can take 4 yearly moving totals. Here how you can take 156 plus 164. Here you can take 164 plus 175. Here you can take 175 plus 166. Here 166 plus 156, right? After that, if you take some value, you have to divide this by 2, then you can take the same value, right? So I think we have another alternative method. Yeah, that is the alternative method. I think you can understand, right? We'll see. I think there is an example. Yeah, we can consider this one. Construct 2 year moving total and 4 year centered moving average from the following data. Then you have to use the alternative method for this one, right? These are the given data, 1985 to 1995. Then these are the numbers. Now we are calculating the 4 yearly moving total. First consider this 4 and take the total, then next 4 take the total. Likewise you can take the totals up to here, right? Then you have to take the 2 yearly moving total, not the moving average. This is this one, and adding this 2 you can take this total, adding this 2 this total, this 2 this total, this one, and also this two, this one, and considering this two, this one. After that, this is the 2 yearly moving totals. Then now you can divide this by what number? Then here 2 yearly moving total, and here 4 yearly moving. Then 2 multiplied by 4. It means you have to divide this by 163.3 by 8. We'll see what is the value we can take. 163.3 divided by 8. Then that is 20.413. Why is that? So if why we divided by 8? If we are taking the moving average, first what you have to do, divide by 4. After that, centered moving average we have to divide it by 2. Then we did at these two operation at once. What? When you are finding this 2 yearly moving total, 2 multiplied by 1, 8. So this value divided by 8, you can take this one, then divided by 8 this one. Likewise, you can take the moving averages, centered moving averages. This is an alternative method. You can use any of the these. I explained there are I explained the two methods. You can use any method you like to find the 4 yearly centered moving average. Then you can plot the data, plot the trend line in the given graph. Right? Then advantages of moving average method. This is simple method and easy to adopt. Anybody working on a problem with this method will get same results. Therefore, no scope of personal bias in the exhibition in the trend by this method. Then there is no personal bias because this is a mathematical bias. If means if two persons do the same problem, the both can be get the same answer. But in the graphical method, if the two persons did the same question, same problem, but answers can be different. But here this mathematical model, then the both persons get the same answer. This method is flexible since an addition of few more figures corresponding to the additional number of years to the original series does not affect the moving averages already calculated. It means if we add additional years, then the original series does not affect for the moving averages already calculated. Right? This is an advantage. Can be used to determine seasonal, cyclic and irregular variations beside the trend value. So this can use to seasonal, cyclic and irregular fluctuations beside the trend values. This is an advantage. Then we consider the disadvantages of the moving average method. This method does not give the trend values for the first few and last few years of the series. It means you have to, then if you take the 3 year moving averages, what you have to do, first one and last one you have to omit. Right? If you take the 4 year moving averages, first 2 and last 2 you have to omit. So that is a disadvantage. This method does not give the trend values of the first few years and last few years of the series. It can be applied only when series covers a sufficient long spans of time. Yeah, that's true. So if there are 2 or 4, we can't use this method. Then that comparatively there should be a highest number of years that to apply this moving average method. This method cannot eliminate the irregular fluctuations completely. So in this method, that irregular fluctuation cannot be eliminated. This method does not give us any mathematical formula for calculating the trend values, and hence it has only limited use for the forecasting purposes. It means that there is no mathematical formula. No, it means if you plotted some trend using 1999, then up to 1999, right? So there is a trend value. If we need to do the forecast in 2016, so you have to extend this line, right? If that there is not enough space, that is difficult, no? But if it is give the mathematical formula like this way, just you have to substitute value for here, no, 2016, no, then you can find the you can forecast any value. So that is a disadvantage. There is no mathematical equation, so it is difficult for the forecasting purposes. that does not means these methods cannot be forecast the future values, because there is a trend line. So if you extend this trend line, you can forecast the future and also the past values. But that is not a completely easy method for if we taking for the long spans of period. That is difficult to extend the trend line to get the to take the forecasting. That is a disadvantage, right? Then weighted moving average. Weighted moving average is obtained by dividing the weight moving total by the sum of weights, right? So then they let x1, x2, x3 to xn occur with the weights w1, w2 to wn. Then a weighted moving average we can take by using this formula. It means wi means the weights and xi means the that's values divided by sigma wi. So we'll consider we try to understand this through an example. Find the trend of the following series using the 3-year weighted moving average with the weights. This is your 3-year moving average. So then for they are given 1 to 1. These are the weight. W1 is W2 2, W3 again 1. Sorry. W3 1. Right? So then sum of weights 1 plus 2 plus 1 4. Because why we need the formula is you have to divide by sum of weights, right? Therefore we have to find the sum of weights, right? Then we can wrote this for that side. Then how we can find the moving? Then here that's weight given w1 is 1, w2 is 2 and w3 is 1. These are the weights. No, these are the weights. So what you have to do, 2 multiplied by 1 plus 4 multiplied by 2 plus 5 multiplied by 1, then moving total. Why is that? Because these are the weights. Then for this one, then again you have to take the weights. Then now if now you consider this 3, no, then again next you have to consider this 2. Then 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there. 4 into 1 plus 5 into 2 plus 7 into, sorry, this is 1, no, w3 is 1, no, w3 is 1, right? 7 into 1, then you can find the moving total. Then again next you have to consider next 3. Then 1 2 1, 5 into 1 plus 7 into 2 plus 8 into 1 plus, right? Then next 3, 1 2 1. These are the weights. 7 into 1 plus 8 into 2 plus 10 into 1. Finally these 3 again weights 1 2 3, 8 into 1, 8 into 1 plus 10 into 2 plus 3 into 1. Then you can find the moving totals, right? Finally you have to divide by sigma wi. Sigma wi we found that is 4, right? It means sum of those weights 1 plus 2 plus 1, that is 4. So you can divide this by 4. 15 divided by 4, 21 divided by 4, 27 divided by 4, 33 divided by 4 and 41 divided by 4. Then you can find the 3 yearly weighted moving averages in these 3.75, 5.25, 6.75, 8.25 and 10.25. These are the 3-year weighted moving average. Then you can plot these trend in the graph. So this is the way of doing the moving averages, right? So then we discussed the 3 methods. Then I'm going to discuss the last method, that is method of least square, in the next video.